This video is sponsored by Manscaped. POV, you wake up in a dark forest. You don't know why you're there or how you got there. It's dark, you're alone. All you know is you need to explore, find things that might help you, and maybe you'll get out. But then you hear something in the distance. Wait, no, now it's next to you. Now it's behind you. Oh my god, it's the man in the yellow hat. It's the man in the yellow hat. And it turns out you're Curious George. Wow. Skinny boys. I love those slinky tall people. Faceless ones, oh, they're a bonus. Oh man. But I know what you're gonna expect me to say here. You expect me to say that Slender Man is the hottest one. But no, not this time. I'm not doing that. Slender Man, he's ugly. He's the worst skinny tall boy. He is so old, so ancient. He's so 2012, so old and dusty. 2012, that was like 12 years ago. You see, back in time, there was a game called Slender Boy. It was a revolutionary game, I'm not gonna lie. It actually shocked the world. This super small indie game was what everyone talked about. You watched PewDiePie play it and you laughed. You laughed. Slender Man the 8 Pages was a game about finding 8 pages. Who knew? You find these pages in a forest and the occasional bathroom, but be careful, there's a Slender Man around and he might give you a hug. A big ol' hug. A big hug with his tenties. Ew, it's a little gross. I never played the game because I never cared. It looks scary and I'm a wimp. But I gotta be honest, the Slender Man from the original game looked fucking dorky. Look at this dude. Look at him. Tiny peanut head, wacky arms. What a dork. If this man tried to scare me, I would push him over. He's a weak boy, a weak little boy. Soon, through the years, no one cared about Slender Man anymore. The talk of this man being the new talk of the Talktown became no more until around 2018. 6 years. 6 years later, for an indie horror thing that only weirdos talked about in middle school, in 2018, there was a movie. A movie, dude. A movie that actually cost a lot of money to make for a small horror film, and I'm confused as to why. Get Out had a budget of $5 million, and it looks amazing. This movie had double, literally double, and it looks like a genuine dog turd. The movie has a very weird lighting thing. It's called spooky lighting. Spooky lighting when you can literally barely see anything, right? This movie is dark, genuinely. I saw it in the theater, and it's one of the most visually painful movies I've ever seen. I was struggling to make out anything, and since this is my video, I'm gonna brighten it a tiny bit, you know, just a tad bit, just a little, so it's not hurting all of us. I mean, this is my video. I'll make it when I make it, dumb movie. Now just say thank you, Nick. Just say it. So yeah, this movie is bad. Insanely bad. It's actually probably the worst recent horror movie to come out. It's not Blumhouse, and it's not some weird off-brand company that no one's heard of. It's a company that actually has made pretty decent stuff in the past, but yet this movie feels so, what's the word, illegal? It feels like an uncomfortable movie where the plot is literally just, let's go to the next horror scene. Oh yeah, let's go to the next horror scene. Oh yeah, let's go to the next horror scene, instead of, like, you know, giving an actual plot. And in the weirdest, most disgusting way, the movie's plot from a glance can be looked at like the awful incident that happened in 2014. I'm not going to go too in depth into it because it's a graphic, long story, but basically in 2014, 2 girls lured their friend into a forest and brutally stabbed the girl 19 times. Luckily, the victim survived, miraculously, but the girls who did this said to the police that they did it because of Slender Man, and they also said they talked to one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm not making that up. Obviously, this was insane, and this being a real life, awful, really wildly known thing. It's really weird that the main group in this movie is a bunch of young girls, mainly 3, who go into the forest, and each of them die, but not die in different ways. That's just a little messed up, because it's also all going through their heads, and considering the real life thing was a mental illness issue, it's a little insensitive of the writers behind this movie to just blatantly ignore something like that. If they made it closer to the incident or directly related on purpose, that's pretty messed up. But guess what? Even if that wasn't the case, even if it was just creative freedom, unrelated, it's still a terrible story. I mean, it's called Slender Man. Slender Man. And this man, the man in question, barely is the reason for most of the horror in this movie. He shows up so little, so insanely little. The scares that actually happen are like weird ghost ladies or weird hospital paranormal stuff. It's just random. It's so random. It's not tied to the characters' insecurities, in their horrors, or anything at all. Every horror scare is a random set piece just to be a horror set piece. And doesn't that sound boring? But you know what's not boring? Hot people. You know what makes people hot and not boring? Proper grooming. Introducing the Manscaped Weed Whacker. Manscaped is the best at helping all you hot men groom properly down there, and now they're helping you up here, where your face is. Sometimes in life, we be hairy men, and with a Weed Whacker, you can trim those pesky nose and ear hairs in the safest way possible using their skin-safe technology. I mean, if Slender Man had a nose or ears, he would probably be using this thing, I'm not gonna lie. The Weed Whacker makes whacking those ugly hairs super easy and comfortable, and it's even water resistant for those that love to groom in the shower. Its rechargeable lithium-ion battery makes the cordless trimming adventurous. Do it in the kitchen, go crazy. You can get 20% off and free shipping with the code 24frames at checkout. Just click the link in the description. That's code 24frames at checkout by clicking the link in the description. Now let's dive into the movie. The movie that begins with a slow reveal of the title. Ooh, this is about Slender Man. I love that guy. I can't believe he makes a cameo in this movie. Instantly, we cut to a high school. Some of our main girls, it's a little hard to see them normally because it's so dark out, even though it's like 4 p.m. But yeah, sure. So from the start, our main group starts showing us how, they're all close friends. They're insanely close. The dialogue in this movie is particularly great because it's all very uncut gems at time, but not in a good stylized way like that movie. No. More like I don't understand what anyone's saying and I'm annoyed.
It'd be so much cuter if you were wearing little shoes. It'd be cuter if he exploded at the end. Meow.
I think it has something to do with the directing in this movie because the directing makes the audio and writing worse somehow. I mean, truly though, the entire beginning of this movie is dedicated to making these girls feel so close, but it goes so fast and forced, it doesn't introduce any of them as characters. It honestly just assumes we already know them. We have to learn their names randomly if they hopefully mention it. But then boom, in the first 6 minutes, they mention Slender Man. Ooh, we're already moving into the meat of this. And in this movie world, Slender Man is still a relevant topic where people still make conspiracy videos and act like they can summon him. Basically, the beginning of this movie is The Ring. They watch a scary video about a forest and that's gonna be the thing that brings them troubles through the rest of the movie. One of these girls wakes up in a forest and it's scary and there's scary stuff. And I'm gonna be honest, my intro POV to this very video was scarier than this. And then all of a sudden, it's a week later I guess, and one of the other girls looks at the forest and thinks it's talking to her. But then in the next second, it turns out, okay, she just went missing, okay? So I guess she wandered into the forest, I guess. We didn't really get to personally see any indication of that, but that's what happened, I guess. And then these kind of pause moments happen too much in this movie. It is literally all the movie has. All the movie is pause champ. Haha, we're talking and having fun. But wait, pause champ, there's something scary downstairs that we can't even see. And just imagine this over and over and over again. I guess there's a really bad angry dad too. I don't even know whose dad this is, to be honest. You don't know any of the characters' relations to each other. Are these girls sisters? Is this their dad? You have to dig for this info. You have to work hard for it. Is that good for a movie like this to do that? Should we care about any of the characters when the movie doesn't? And then the girl that went missing, she posts a POV of her in the forest somewhere. A POV where she's obviously not even holding the camera and it feels just so fake. Why not just let her hold it just for 5 seconds? It'll make the scene better. But because of this, these girls try to go into the forest to find her. And they summon Slender Man to see if something will happen. And oh my god, there's a little Slender Man, kinda. I guess. Is that him or is that the man in the yellow hat? It's kind of hard to tell. We do eventually get a good look at him though, when he's in the forest and he's just a CGI overlaid asset on the trees. Yep, literally they didn't even bother to make his tentacles actually move the trees or branches or anything. They just clip through it and that's really funny. And then one of the girls goes to the library to use Google and not just her phone or her laptop that she has. Google isn't special and only in a library, you know that, right? I hope she knows this. But this is so we can set up a scary library scene because dark libraries are scary. And this kind of thing repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats until the ending where the main-ish girl goes into the forest and Slender chases her in spider form and she becomes a tree in the end. That's That's it. That's it. The other friends, they just kind of disappear in the movie. After scary stuff happens, you never really see them anymore. Yeah, and that's the movie. This is the movie. This is a movie that just wants to capitalize off a weird internet sensation when it's far too late. And its attempt at trying to do so is so awful. The budget for this movie, where is it? Where did it go? I can't find even where $1 went in this movie. This is a movie that is just so painful. It's not creepy in a way that it wants to be, or like make you feel creepy. It's creepy because it feels so alien, so confusing, and it has absolutely no plot. It's just a random scene movie with like 3 minutes of Slender Man very loosely connected. How do you mess up this badly? Every element of this is broken and awful. The poor actors in this movie, they honestly don't even get a chance to act because the directing and writing doesn't let them talk like normal people. It's so incoherent. Things just happen for the sake of happening. Oh, and just to remind you guys once again, the movie is actually a lot darker than what you're looking at right now, just in case you forgot what it actually looks like. There's not a single thing redeeming in this. Not a single thing making an entire watch worth it. I just don't even understand how this is a Slender Man movie. The man does like one thing in the ending. It's stupid. How do you make a dark, empty forest not scary? How do you make it annoying? You want some movies that make forests amazing and scary? The Ritual. Super great ending and it looks amazing. Any Evil Dead movie ever. It Comes at Night. Wow. Super low budget and it looks insanely good. Or Blair Witch. I don't even have to say any more about that. They could have just remade Blair Witch with Slender Man and it would have been so much better than this, honestly. I'm sorry, Slender Man. Looks like you aren't so slender. You're pretty fat nowadays, I'm not gonna lie. And your skin's looking a little rough. Try some self-care, bud. XO, Nick.